Hey, so today this is the third video in my Canada Reads set, and this time I'm going to talk about Nostalgia by M.G. Vassanji. And describing this book is going to be a challenge because there's a lot of stuff and it's tough to say it without giving too much of the story away or just overloading you with facts. So I'm just going to fly right into it because the synopsis is a toughie. In the future, we've managed to overcome death. But in doing so, in this new endless life that we have, there's a problem with overloading the brain with too many memories. So when the body gets rejuvenated, the brain is sort of wiped clean and a new set of fake memories called the fiction is put into someone's brain. The system is not perfect though, and sometimes memories from the past life seep into the new life, and that's called nostalgia. So the story follows Dr. Frank Sinna, who is a doctor who specializes in treating people who have nostalgia, and he receives a new patient called Presley, whose nostalgia is kind of hinting has a secret tie to this war-torn country called Maskinia. While Frank is trying to help Presley, cracks in his own memories start to form and his own little bits of nostalgia start to peek out, and there might be more to his bond with Presley than Frank had ever expected. This book did a really good job of establishing a kind of you can't escape who you are and you can't change your past sort of feeling to it. I really liked how everyone sort of struggles with their past, and a lot of the characters, they want to go through this rejuvenation process just to escape a terrible memory. It's interesting to see how far people will go to escape something terrible that's happened in their lives. I feel like this was a very bleak and very real look at a possible future where those with money will use said money to escape their lives and continue to live longer, and with the power of money and science could live possibly forever. It also created a sort of class war between the people that could afford the rejuvenation process and those that couldn't, because it's very expensive, so it's only for the really wealthy and well-to-do. There's a disturbing movement in this book called the ProDeath Movement. In order to preserve what they consider the sanctity of life and the human soul, they protest the fact that people are extending their lives what they consider unnaturally, and I guess, yeah, it is kind of unnatural. But they go as far as, they protest places where the rejuvenation treatments are done, and also they kill people who have had rejuvenation done to them, which I find, really over the top and crazy. Not only from the protesters in the pro-death movement, we also get pushback on rejuvenation from the religious sections of society. This book deals in particular with religions that have a reincarnation aspect to them, because if you continue to extend your life, you never end up dying, so your soul can't be reincarnated, so the karmic cycle just sort of stops. That's where the religions get the idea that rejuvenation is bad. And these two things combined create a very awkward and very uncomfortable interaction with Frank and certain other people, because Frank has had this procedure done, and people come up to him and there's two different kinds of reactions to him. One of them, they get violently angry and tell them that he should die and everything like that so the young can inherit the earth, and then the other one, the one that's almost creepier, are the more peaceful protesters who talk to him and just politely ask him to end his life. And it's so weird that someone would walk up to someone else and be like, "Can you please just die?" How would society get to a point where people would just be like, "Can you die? Can you just die for me, please? I would really appreciate that if you just died so I could take over the planet." Why? That's so weird. Oh, that made me so uncomfortable. Blah. This book also, in a more light sort of way, it was more about death and life and stuff like that, but it also has some interesting points to talk about propaganda. A certain character in this book is presumed dead, but then it turns out that she's defected into kind of like a guerrilla military style thing in the country of Maskinia. But because of the way the news is reported on it and daytime talk shows, events that are happening, Frank sees people go from one end of the spectrum where they're all sad that she had passed away and were mourning her, to wanting to kill her and it's just like it's a total 180 in the general public's view on this girl. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of the way things go. News can really affect the way people view a situation, and it was just kind of neat to see, you know, people go crazy over a single news report and just turn on this poor woman, and it gets scary. And all that being said, I had some troubles getting into this book. It had some good stuff in it. All in all, I didn't really enjoy it that much. I think I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. That's not to say it was a bad book. I don't think I would ever read it again, but I don't regret reading it in the first place. And I guess that's it for this video. Join me on my next one, because my next video is Company Town by Madeline Ashby. That is the 4th book of the Canada Reads that I've read. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more of this. Down in the description below I will have a link to my Goodreads, my Twitter, and a playlist for this video series. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you with my next one. Bye!